There comes a day in every man's life when he looks in the mirror and realizes that time is slipping through his hands like sand. Each sunrise you ignore is a day you will never get back. Each moment wasted in weakness becomes a memory of regret. You say tomorrow, but tomorrow has stolen more dreams than failure ever could. You don't rise because it's easy. You rise because life doesn't care about your excuses. The world will keep moving whether you show up or not, and one day you'll wake up older, weaker, wondering why you never gave your soul everything it demanded. Discipline isn't a choice, it's the price of becoming unstoppable. Pain is not your enemy, comfort is. Every time you push through exhaustion, every time you say no to laziness, you are sculpting yourself into someone even destiny cannot deny. Remember, there are men who would kill for the time you're wasting, men who never got the chance to fight for their lives. You still have today. That's your gift. Never miss a day, because every missed day is another step toward mediocrity. And mediocrity is the slowest form of death. Time is the most valuable currency you will ever hold. And yet it is the one people waste the fastest. Money can be made back. Strength can be rebuilt. Relationships can be repaired. But the hours, minutes, and seconds you let slip away are gone forever. Every sunrise you ignore, every opportunity you postpone, every excuse you create is a piece of your life you'll never be able to buy back. Think about how much of your day is eaten by meaningless scrolling, empty conversations, or simply lying down because you don't feel like doing the work. In that very moment, time is being stolen from you, not by someone else, but by your own hands. Time doesn't wait, it doesn't pause, it doesn't forgive. It keeps moving forward whether you decide to step with it or not. That's the harsh truth most people hide from. Time will bury you if you don't respect it. There will come a moment in your life, maybe years from now, when you'll sit in silence and wonder what you could have achieved if you had just been consistent. You'll imagine the physique you could have built, the wealth you could have earned, the freedom you could have created, if only you had treated every day like it mattered. That regret will crush you, because nothing is heavier than wasted potential. You cannot rewind, you cannot redo, and you cannot relive the moments you traded for laziness. That's why it's a crime against yourself to ever waste time. People don't realize that success is not about massive leaps. It's about the small daily disciplines that compound over years. If you miss one workout, one study session, one business call, it may not feel like much, but those small absences stack into patterns, and those patterns define your life. A single wasted day becomes a week becomes a month, and soon you've thrown away years. Time lost is never returned, and once you understand that, you'll look at every day as an opportunity you cannot afford to waste. Discipline may feel like sacrifice, but in reality, it's the greatest investment in yourself. You're paying with effort now so you can live with freedom later. Look at people who are old, who sit and tell stories of the past. Many of them don't speak with pride, they speak with regret. They talk about what they could have done, who they could have been, what chances they could have taken. They don't regret failing. They regret not even trying. They regret the time they wasted convincing themselves they weren't ready, when the truth is they had everything they needed. They just didn't act. Don't let that be you. Don't let years pass and find yourself wishing you could go back. You can't. Life doesn't give you rewinds. It only gives you one playthrough. Every second matters. The way you spend your morning dictates your day. The way you spend your days dictates your years. And the way you spend your years dictates the life you live. That's why the concept of just relaxing today is dangerous when it becomes your default mode. Rest has a place, but laziness has no excuse. Time is slipping away whether you rest or not, and the world isn't waiting for you to get serious. While you hesitate, someone else is outworking you. Someone else is building their empire. Someone else is becoming the person you dream to be. And when the competition never sleeps, you cannot afford to waste your most precious resource. People lie to themselves with the word tomorrow. They think they'll change their lives tomorrow, start their grind tomorrow, fix their body tomorrow, pursue their dreams tomorrow. But tomorrow is a myth, an illusion that fools the weak. The only real time you have is today, right now. You either use it or you waste it. The man who acts today wins, while the man who waits for tomorrow loses. That's the brutal truth, and it doesn't care about your feelings. Time lost is never returned, and once it's gone, all you have left is regret or pride. You will either look back one day and be proud that you squeezed every ounce of value from your time, or you'll live haunted by the realization that you had the chance, but you chose comfort. That choice is yours every single day. Life is nothing more than a collection of days, and if you throw away the days, you throw away your life. So never miss a day. Never take time for granted. Treat every hour like it has weight, because it does. The seconds are ticking, the clock is moving, and your story is being written whether you participate or not. When it's all over, the only thing you'll wish for is more time, and by then it'll be too late. Live now. Work now. Grind now. Respect time, or time will destroy you. Discipline is the foundation of every kind of freedom you dream about. People think freedom means doing whatever you want, whenever you want, but that's not freedom. That's slavery to impulses, laziness, and weakness. True freedom comes from control, and control is born from discipline. When you have discipline, you decide what your life looks like instead of letting excuses or emotions decide for you. Without discipline, you become a prisoner of your own desires. You sleep in because you feel tired. You eat junk because it's convenient. You waste hours because it feels easy. Every time you give in, you surrender a piece of your life, and in return, you gain nothing. Discipline demands effort, but it rewards you with the ability to build the body you want, earn the wealth you want, live the lifestyle you want. Without it, all those things remain fantasies. Think about the people who achieve greatness. They don't succeed because life is easier for them. They succeed because they've mastered the art of discipline. They wake up when they don't want to. They train when their body screams to rest. They work when others are distracted. They've built habits so strong that their actions don't rely on motivation. That's where freedom begins. When you no longer wait to feel like it, you are free. When you can command yourself to act no matter the circumstance, you unlock a life most people only dream about. That's why discipline is not punishment. It's the highest form of self-love. You're telling yourself that your future matters more than your temporary comfort. Discipline creates financial freedom. Most people live trapped by money, working jobs they hate, struggling to survive because they lack the discipline to manage money, learn skills, or build something of value. They spend every dollar they earn. They avoid learning because it's boring. They run from the grind because it's uncomfortable. Years later, they're still stuck, broke, and bitter, blaming the world. But the man with discipline saves, invests, improves, and sacrifices. He doesn't waste his time or his money. Day by day, he builds something stronger, and eventually he earns the freedom to live on his terms. That's not luck. It's discipline paying its price. Discipline creates physical freedom. Your body is your vehicle through life, and without discipline, it becomes your cage. People who lack discipline in diet and training suffer from weakness, disease, and limitations. They can't climb stairs without gasping. They can't defend themselves. They can't live fully because their body holds them prisoner. But the disciplined man trains daily, eats clean, pushes himself. His body becomes a weapon, a shield, a tool that allows him to live with strength. That strength is freedom. Freedom to move, to fight, to endure, to explore. Discipline creates mental freedom. A weak mind is a mind filled with noise, distraction, and guilt. Every time you break a promise to yourself, you lose trust in your own word. Every time you say you'll do something and don't, you build a mind filled with regret. That's mental slavery. But when you are disciplined, your mind becomes clear, sharp, and focused. You know you can rely on yourself. You develop confidence because you've proven to yourself over and over again that you can execute. That confidence is freedom. You are no longer chained by self-doubt. You move through life knowing you can handle whatever comes because discipline has forged your mind into steel. Discipline also creates freedom of time. Most people waste years because they lack the discipline to structure their days. They drift, distracted, procrastinating, always busy but never productive. They feel like they have no time, but the truth is they're simply wasting it. The disciplined man sets priorities, executes tasks, and builds momentum. Because of that, he achieves more in a single focused hour than others do in a week. Over time, his discipline compounds into mastery, and mastery earns him time freedom. While others are still grinding in circles, he's living life on his schedule. That's the reward of disciplined time management. What's ironic is that people avoid discipline because they think it restricts them, when in reality, lack of discipline is what enslaves them. The man who cannot control himself is controlled by everything else, his cravings, his distractions, his laziness, his environment. But the man with discipline owns his life. He has the power to shape his destiny because he refuses to bow down to weakness. That is the truest freedom there is, the freedom to be in charge of yourself, no matter the situation. Discipline creates freedom because it strips away excuses. It forces you to face yourself as you are and choose who you want to become. The freedom you want, whether it's financial, physical, mental, or emotional, sits on the other side of daily sacrifices, consistency, and relentless focus. There are no shortcuts, no secrets. The world only gives freedom to those who prove they can handle it, and discipline is the proof. Without it, you will remain trapped. With it, you can break chains no one else can break. So when you wake up and you don't feel like working, remember this. Every act of discipline today buys you freedom tomorrow. Every rep, every hour of work, every small act of control builds into a life that belongs to you. That's the price of freedom. It isn't free. You pay for it with sweat, with sacrifice, with consistency. But once you've paid, the world opens its doors. Discipline creates freedom, and without it, you will never truly live. Comfort is the silent killer of ambition, the quiet thief that steals your potential without you even noticing. It doesn't scream at you. It doesn't fight you head on. It seduces you. Comfort whispers in your ear that you've done enough, that you deserve to rest, that tomorrow will be a better time to start. It feels warm, soft, and safe, and that's why it's so dangerous. People think the opposite of success is failure, but that's wrong. The opposite of success is comfort. Failure teaches. Failure pushes you. Failure gives you the fire to rise. Comfort teaches you nothing. It dulls your mind, weakens your body, and traps your spirit. It makes you believe you are okay where you are, even when deep down you know you're not. When you live in comfort, you stop chasing growth. Growth only comes from challenge, from struggle, from putting yourself into situations that test your limits. Comfort tells you to avoid those things. It convinces you to take the easy road, and the easy road never leads anywhere worth going. You skip the workout because the bed feels good. You avoid the difficult conversation because silence feels safe. You procrastinate on your goals because scrolling your phone feels relaxing. Every single time you choose comfort, you're making yourself weaker. You're building a habit of surrender, and over time, those small choices stack into a life of regret. Comfort is dangerous because it feels like happiness, but it's not. Real happiness comes from progress, from becoming someone stronger than you were yesterday. The temporary pleasure of comfort tricks you into thinking you're satisfied, but what it really gives you is stagnation. It's like sitting in warm water that's slowly turning cold. You don't notice the change until you're shivering, trapped, and too weak to get out. Comfort convinces you that you're at peace, but deep inside, a voice whispers that you're wasting your life. That voice grows louder as time passes until it becomes unbearable. That's when regret sets in. The men who achieve greatness are not the ones who chase comfort. They are the ones who run toward discomfort. They train their bodies when they don't want to. They study when their mind is tired. They work when others are resting. They deliberately place themselves in the fire because they know that only fire forges steel. Discomfort is not something they fear. It's something they seek, because they understand that the pain of discipline is temporary, but the pain of comfort is permanent. Comfort chains you to a mediocre life, while discomfort sets you free. Look at the world around you. Most people live in a cycle of comfort. They wake up just in time to go to a job they hate. They come home to sit on a couch. They scroll through meaningless feeds. They eat whatever tastes good. They go to bed and repeat. They never break the pattern because it's comfortable. But in that comfort, they are slowly dying. Their dreams, their health, their energy, their ambition, all of it fades because they never step into discomfort. Then years later, they look back and realize they wasted the one life they had. They never took risks, never chased greatness, never pushed their limits. Comfort stole everything from them, and they didn't even notice until it was too late. You cannot allow comfort to be your master. If you want freedom, success, strength, and fulfillment, you must train yourself to see comfort as the enemy. Every time you feel that urge to relax when you should be working, recognize it as the enemy trying to pull you down. Every time your mind says, skip it, you deserve a break, understand that comfort is trying to rob you. The real growth happens when you ignore that voice, when you do the work anyway, when you walk into the storm instead of hiding from it. That's where confidence is built. That's where resilience is forged. And that's where true satisfaction lives. Comfort kills because it delays your dreams. It tells you that you can do it later, but later rarely comes. It robs you not in big dramatic moments, but in tiny decisions that seem harmless. One skipped workout, one wasted hour, one ignored opportunity. On their own, they don't feel like much, but stacked together, they form a wall between you and the life you want. Comfort builds that wall brick by brick, and if you let it, you'll spend your entire life stuck behind it. The only way out is to break it down with consistent action, with discomfort, with discipline. So you must rewire your mind. Learn to find pride in the struggle. Learn to see discomfort not as punishment, but as proof that you're growing. Seek it, embrace it, chase it. The gym should hurt. The work should feel heavy. The challenges should scare you. That's the sign that you're alive, that you're moving forward. Comfort feels good for a moment, but leaves you empty. Discomfort feels hard in the moment, but leaves you fulfilled. That's the difference. Comfort is the true enemy because it doesn't just stop you from winning, it convinces you that losing is fine. And if you let that lie sink into your soul, you will never break free. The truth is simple. Greatness and comfort cannot live in the same house. You must choose one. Either you embrace discomfort now and build a life of strength, or you cling to comfort and spend your days wondering what could have been. The choice is yours every single day. Greatness is never built overnight. It is not the result of one massive achievement, one lucky break, or one extraordinary day. Greatness is built in silence, in repetition, in the small victories that seem almost insignificant in the moment. The world loves to glorify the big success story, the final outcome, the dramatic transformation. But what the world doesn't see are the thousands of tiny wins that stack together to create that moment of greatness. The truth is simple. Small wins compound into greatness, just like small failures compound into regret. Every choice you make either moves you forward or holds you back. And while a single choice may feel too small to matter, repeated over weeks, months, and years, it becomes the very foundation of your destiny. Think about it like drops of water. A single drop is nothing. You could ignore it. But if the drops keep falling day after day, they carve valleys into stone. Small actions done consistently have a force that no burst of effort can match. One workout may not change your body. One page of reading may not change your mind. One disciplined choice may not change your life. But when you add them up, when you repeat them long enough, they transform you completely. That is the law of compounding. What seems small today becomes monumental tomorrow. The problem is most people are blind to this truth. They chase quick results. They want greatness in weeks, not years. And when they don't see instant changes, they quit. They fail to realize that greatness is hidden in the small victories they abandon. You don't get strong from one session at the gym. You get strong from showing up every day, even when you don't feel like it. You don't become wealthy from one investment. You become wealthy from saving and investing consistently. You don't build confidence by one bold action. You build it by proving to yourself daily that you can keep promises to yourself. Small wins over time build unstoppable momentum. Each small win also changes your identity. When you get up early one day, it doesn't just give you an extra hour. It proves to yourself that you're capable of discipline. When you resist a distraction, it doesn't just save you a few minutes. It proves that you are in control. When you push through a workout, it doesn't just strengthen your muscles, it strengthens your character. Every time you choose progress over comfort, you reinforce the identity of a winner. And identity is powerful because once you see yourself as someone who wins daily battles, you naturally start winning bigger wars. Small wins compound because they build habits, and habits build lives. Most people underestimate the power of habits because they are invisible at first. Eating clean one day doesn't change your body. Reading one chapter doesn't make you smarter. Saving a small amount doesn't make you rich. But repeated habits shape the trajectory of your life. And in the long run, trajectory matters more than speed. A rocket that is even 1 degree off course will miss its destination entirely, but one that is 1 degree more precise will reach the stars. That's the power of consistent small adjustments. They create completely different futures. Another truth about small wins is that they create momentum. Success is addictive. When you achieve one small win, your brain craves another. When you start the day with a win, like making your bed, finishing a workout, or reading for 10 minutes, you set the tone for the rest of the day. Momentum builds, and soon the day becomes a string of victories. Days turn into weeks, weeks into months, and suddenly you've built a life that feels unstoppable. On the other hand, small losses create negative momentum. Skipping one workout makes it easier to skip the next. Wasting 1 hour makes it easier to waste another. Just like wins compound into greatness, losses compound into mediocrity. History is filled with people who achieved greatness not by extraordinary talent, but by extraordinary consistency. Writers who committed to 1 page a day ended up with masterpieces. Athletes who practiced small drills endlessly became legends. Entrepreneurs who made small improvements daily built empires. They weren't chasing perfection, they were chasing progress, and progress compounded is unbeatable. Small wins also prepare you for the big challenges. Life will throw storms at you, and if you haven't built discipline through daily victories, you will break under pressure. But if you've been training yourself every day with small wins, you'll face storms with strength. You'll already know how to push through resistance, how to endure discomfort, how to keep moving forward. The small wins you collect in ordinary days prepare you for extraordinary moments. The tragedy is that most people never value small wins until it's too late. They keep waiting for the big break, the huge leap, the dramatic transformation, while ignoring the little actions that actually lead there. They waste years chasing shortcuts, never realizing that consistency beats intensity every time. The man who trains steadily for years will always surpass the one who trains hard for a week and quits. The person who saves small amounts consistently will always beat the gambler who bets on luck. The small win mentality may not look glamorous, but it always wins in the end. Greatness is not built in a single day. It is built in the accumulation of days where you chose to win, even in the smallest ways. Each rep, each disciplined choice, each moment of focus is a brick. And over time, those bricks become an unshakable fortress. That is greatness. Not luck, not chance, not one moment of brilliance. Just small wins, stacked endlessly until the world has no choice but to recognize what you've become. Every day you wake up, you are handed an opportunity that will never come again. The date on the calendar will never repeat. The hours in front of you will never return, and the actions you choose to take will forever be written into the story of who you are. That is why missing a day is not a small thing. It is not harmless, it is not insignificant, and it's not something you can casually excuse. Each missed day is a day erased from the book of your legacy, and once it's gone, you cannot write it back in. Never miss a day. Because every day is a chance to prove to yourself, to the world, and to history that you are a man or woman of consistency, strength, and discipline. When people think about legacy, they often imagine it as something distant, something that only matters at the end of their life. They believe it is defined by one great act, one major achievement, or one grand contribution. But that is not true. Legacy is defined in the tiny, consistent choices that you make each day. It is the accumulation of days lived with purpose or wasted in distraction. If you spend your days in discipline, your legacy will be strength. If you spend your days in laziness, your legacy will be weakness. Your legacy is being built right now, not later, not someday, now. And every day you miss, every day you throw away, you are shaping that legacy into something smaller than it could have been. Missing a day is dangerous because it creates cracks in your character. You may think it's just one workout skipped, just one task delayed, just one promise broken. But those small cracks expand. When you let yourself slide once, it becomes easier to slide again. Soon, you are no longer in control of your days. Your days control you. Consistency is not about perfection. It is about refusing to allow excuses to win. The habit of showing up every single day builds mental toughness, while the habit of missing days builds weakness. Discipline and laziness both compound, and your legacy will be defined by which one you choose. Every man or woman remembered in history is remembered not because they worked when it was convenient, but because they worked when it wasn't. They showed up through exhaustion, through hardship, through doubt. They built their legacies not by brilliance in a single moment, but by relentless commitment day after day. Greatness is not luck. It is the result of never missing a day. You cannot become legendary if your efforts are inconsistent. You cannot build mastery if you stop and start. You cannot expect respect if your actions are occasional. Your legacy demands consistency because only consistency carves permanence. Think about this. Every day you miss is not just lost time, it is a missed opportunity to inspire others. People are watching you. Your family, your friends, your peers, even strangers you don't know. They see your habits, they notice your discipline, and they are influenced by your example. When you miss a day, you teach them that quitting is acceptable. When you never miss a day, you teach them that strength is possible. Your legacy is not just what you achieve, but the example you set for others to follow. Never miss a day, because your consistency could be the spark that ignites someone else's fire. Missing a day also robs your future self. The version of you 5 years from now is built by the actions you take today. If you skip today, you weaken tomorrow. If you quit today, you rob yourself of progress. Success is a chain, and every day you show up is a link in that chain. Break the chain and you weaken everything. Keep it unbroken and it becomes unshakable. Imagine what your life will look like after 1,000 consecutive days of discipline versus 1,000 days of inconsistency. One builds a legacy of greatness. The other builds a legacy of regret. Legacy is not measured in comfort. It is measured in sacrifice. No one will remember you for the days you relaxed, for the times you gave in, for the moments you chose ease over effort. They will remember you for your resilience, your persistence, your refusal to quit. They will remember that you were the one who showed up every single day, no matter the circumstances. That's what defines legacy. Not talent, not luck, not chance, but an unbreakable will to never miss a day. The truth is, you do not know how many days you have left. Time is not infinite, and one day your last sunrise will come. On that day, you will look back and ask yourself whether you used your days wisely or wasted them. The legacy you leave behind will not be decided in that final moment, but in every small moment leading up to it. That is why each day matters. Each day is your chance to build something that outlives you, something that speaks long after you are gone. Every missed day makes that legacy smaller. Every disciplined day makes it greater. So never miss a day. Not because it's easy, not because you always feel like it, but because it defines everything. Show up when you're tired. Show up when you're unmotivated. Show up when it hurts. Show up because your legacy demands it. One day your name will be spoken when you are no longer here, and what they say will depend on what you did with the days you were given. Never miss a day, because each day is a brick in the monument of your life, and when the building is complete, it will stand as your legacy forever. When the end comes, it won't be the days you rested that people remember. It won't be the moments you wasted scrolling or hiding in comfort. It will be the days you showed up, the times you fought through exhaustion, the moments you kept your word to yourself when no one was watching. That is what defines your legacy. Every single day is a chance to add another brick to the monument of your life, or to leave a crack in its foundation. Too many people wait for the perfect moment, but the perfect moment is today. The clock is ticking, and whether you act or not, your story is being written. You cannot afford to miss a day, because each missed day is one less chance to become who you were meant to be. When people speak your name years from now, let them say you never quit. Let them say you never surrendered. Let them say you never missed a day. Because greatness is not built in moments of comfort. It is built in the relentless discipline of showing up. Never miss a day, because one day your days will run out and your legacy will remain.